Good morning, class. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. You're listening to Wausau Distance Education Center. This is PLAR History and Geography. That's right. This is PLAR History and Geography. We are entering week 9, which means this is the last week for classes for term A. Okay, so last week of classes in terms of term A. So which means that on Thursday it will be our last class for PLAR History and Geography. Just a reminder, if you are not already registered as a PLAR student or as a student with WASA, the deadline to register for Term B is Friday, November 6th. So make sure you're registered by November 6th if you want to be involved in Term 1B. However, if you are already a PLAR student and have already registered in terms of Term 1A, you will not be withdrawn from the term or the class, so you will be continuing. So if you're already registered, you don't need to register again because we still know that you're active. However, please continue to work on those assignments. Like I said, this is our last week, which means that all assignments should be finishing up, should be completed, and should be sent to me in terms of your PLAR history and geography assignments. Okay? Again, if you have any questions, concerns, please let me know, and I will answer your questions or I will guide you in the right direction. So today we're going to talk about our last lesson in terms of PLAR history and geography. Our lesson today is that we're going to be talking about latitude and longitude. Okay, so our lesson today is talking about latitude and longitude in terms of geography. Okay, so this will be our last lesson for this term. On Friday, I will go over expectation for the tests. We will go over some sample questions that you might be seeing or be looking forward to for the test. So I'll talk all about the tests and all that next class. But today our lesson is latitude and longitude. So before we begin, I'm gonna take some time. I know I kind of rushed it last week where we went over questions on assignment 15. So I'm gonna take some time now, okay, class, just to go over again questions on assignment 15, because it's a pretty big assignment out of 40 marks. Once that's done, I will go into today's lesson about latitude and longitude. Okay. Alrighty. So again, assignment 15, pretty big assignment. It's out of 40 marks. Okay, which means that I'm looking for lots of details in terms of your answers. So again, question number 1 outline 5 things that upset the balance of the environment. Okay, so I'm looking for 5 things. Okay, 5 things. Okay, so 5 things that upset the balance of the environment are, and you can just list them as your five points. Okay. Question number 2. What is the ozone layer? Again, definition, the ozone layer are. Again, lots of detail. You can include an example as well. Okay. Question number 3, what is acid rain? Again, more definitions. Again, I talked about it in my last lesson. It's in your textbook. Okay. Question number 4, what is a renewable resource? What is a renewable resource? And provide or give 2 examples of a renewable resource. Again, a definition of renewable resources are. Some examples may include are. I need 2 examples. Okay, 2 examples. Again, it could be examples that I have provided. It could be examples that you came up with. It could be examples from the textbook. Okay, but I need 2 examples. Okay, 2 examples. Question number 5, what is a non-renewable resources? Okay, non-renewable resource. Again, looking for definition, and again, ask for two examples. Okay, two examples. Again, lots of details, full sentences, write neatly, write clearly. Um, the more you provide, the better mark you will receive. Question number 6. What is carpooling? What is carpooling? And how does that help reduce air pollution? Yes, we have talked lots about air pollution last class. So again, what is carpooling? So what does that term mean? And how does that help reduce air pollution? Okay. Good morning, Ruth. Thank you for joining in, Ruth. Again, question number 7. List 3 laws you would create if you could to help cut down air pollution. So again, you're getting creative, you're getting fancy, using your critical thinking skills, thinking outside the box. Could be anything, okay, but it needs to relate, okay. So list 3 laws, okay, 3, not just 1 or 2, but 3. There's 3 laws you would create if you could to help cut down air pollution. So yes, pretend you are an active member of government or making laws. Um, so what would you do? What would you change? What would you create in terms of how to cut down air pollution? Again, we have talked lots about air pollution, how it impacts us as humans, how it impacts the environment. So what would you create? How would you change the laws? What would people have to do in order to help cut down air pollution? Okay, that's what question number 7 is asking. Okay, and then on the next page, it talks about water and land pollution. So I'm going to read the statement on your sheet for you right now. So water pollution occurs when harmful substance enter the water. Major sources of water pollution include sewage, chemical waste from factories and fertilizers, and pesticides washed off from fields. You have probably seen cans, bottles, and papers litter the ground. This is a form of land pollution. Okay, garbage and chemical waste are other sources of land pollution. We produce billions of tons of garbage each year. Chemical waste are often buried in the ground. So yes, we have talked lots about pollution. We have talked about water pollution and what land pollution is. Okay, so water pollution again, it could be any harmful substance that entered the water or any bodies of water. Again, and land pollution. Okay, so water pollution and land pollution. So land pollution is pretty much any garbage. So we have talked about how to reduce garbage. For example, recycling more often. So instead of littering and dumping things into the garbage. So the next question asks, what other ways can you conserve water? Okay, again, it is outlined in your textbook, how to conserve water. What can we do? What can we do to conserve water or protect the water? So if you're listening right now, some examples could be ways to conserve waters could be when you're brushing your teeth, you can turn off the tap in order to conserve water. Okay, conserve means to protect for future use. Okay, now examples I'm going to throw out there. If you're listening right now, taking a shower instead of taking a bath. Okay, taking a shower instead of a bath conserves water. Okay, it conserves water. Okay, 'cause we're not wasting water, we're not letting water runs for extended period of time, we're conserving. Okay, so those are two examples that you can use if you're listening. Okay, so pretty much I just gave you the answer for that. Next you will see a chart. It says complete the chart. There are 10 pollutants or sources of pollutants are listed below. You are to classify by putting a check mark or an X or some kind of indication, okay, in the correct column. Okay, so 5 marks. So what you need to do is that you need to look at the chart, look at all the pollutants or pollutions that are listed. There are 10 of them. Okay, and you need to classify if it's either land pollution or water pollution. Which one is it? Okay, so let's do one for example. Number 1, it says raw sewage discharge. Raw sewage discharge. Is that land pollution or water pollution? Any thoughts? So question number 1, raw sewage discharge. Okay, is that a form of land pollution or water pollution? Any thoughts? Does anyone know the answer to that one? Again, you can shout out the answer, you can type out the answers. So number 1, raw sewage discharge is an example of water pollution. Water pollution, I'll put a little check mark right there because we know sewage is a form of a water source. Okay, so that's an example of water pollution. Let's look at number 10, for example. Number 10, abandoned junk cars. Is that an example of land pollution or water pollution? Abandoned junk cars. Does that impact the land or does that impact bodies of water or sources of water? The land or water? So we know that abandoned junk cars, so cars, that's a huge hint right there, cars. So that's an example of land pollution. Okay, land pollution. So put a little check mark on the land because we know that abandoned cars just rust away, it impacts the environment, the land. So that's an example of land pollution. Okay, so again, you're gonna look at all 10 items in description and put one check mark in either or category, so land or water. Okay, don't put both because I don't know what that means. So put one in each, one or the other. Okay, just one. Okay, so that's out of 5 marks. Okay. Again, if you have any questions or any difficulties, or if you don't know what the terminology, yes, you can Google it. You can ask your DEC, or you can ask me, and I will describe what each term means if you don't know what it is. Okay? So don't just guess. Make sure you know what they mean before you answer the question. Next, we got a fill in the blank section. Okay, so pretty straightforward. There's a list of words at the top. You're going to read each sentence, and you're going to fill in the blank. Okay, some are really straightforward. Again, you're using the process of elimination. Okay, only use each word once. Okay, these are pretty easy 13 marks that we can all receive. Okay, easy 13 marks. Fill in a blank. Okay, and the last question talks about when it says about 66,000 square miles of the land tropical rainforests are being destroyed each year. How does this upset the balance of nature? Okay, so thousands and thousands of square miles of tropical rainforests, or any forest for example, are being destroyed each year. How does this upset the balance of nature? Okay, again, you're thinking, you're using critical thinking skills, thinking outside the box. Okay, provide some examples, provide some details. Okay, and no surprises, all the materials are covered, are in the textbook. They all have been talked about in my lessons from last class. Okay, and that is assignment 15. Assignment 15. Are there any questions about assignment 15s? Any confusions? Yes, it is a pretty big assignment. Again, it's out of 40 marks, But again, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of those marks can be obtained and accumulated. Okay, that's that about assignment 15. So without further ado, if there's no questions, we are going to continue by looking at today's lesson. Okay, if I don't finish today's lesson, I will finish it next class on Thursday, but it's a pretty straightforward, and this is our last lesson. So our last lesson, or your last assignment on assignment 16, all deals with latitude and longitude. Okay, assignment 16, the last one, it's a very short assignment. You can finish it right after today's lesson. It's your last assignment in terms of this course, in terms of PLARHG history and geography. Okay, don't be confused. Okay, so PLARHG history and geography, there's two components, even though it's one course. The first half is history, the second half is geography. Okay, there's two separate tests. Okay, for history and geography, but this is one course. Okay, for PLARHG history and geography. Okay, let's begin. So again, class, today our lesson is that we're going to be looking at latitude and longitude. Again, more definition. What is latitude? What is longitude? Okay, we'll get to those fancy terms very, very shortly. But yes, today our lesson is that we'll be looking at latitude and longitude. Okay, if you're following along, you're listening with your textbook, I am on page 69, and I'll be going straight to the very end of your textbook. Okay, this is it. This is our very, very last lesson. Very, very excited. Okay, so as we all know, our Earth, our planet, is massive and it's big. Okay, so think of the Earth, think of the globe. Okay, we have many continents, many countries, many cities, many bodies of water. Okay, so our planet, our Earth, our globe, okay, contains many, many things. Okay, lots. So how do we locate a particular or a specific location on Earth? Okay, how do we locate a particular specific location on Earth? Yes, we all know that our Earth, our planet, has many, many cities, many communities, many towns, countries, areas, landmarks, bodies of water, etc. Okay, but for example, what if you wanted to tell a friend the exact location of Sioux Lookout or any other cities or communities you may think of? What if you wanted to tell a friend the exact location of Sioux Lookout, Ontario? It's pretty hard to describe. It's pretty hard to describe. From my understanding, I know that Sioux Lookout is it's like halfway between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg. It's 4 hours west if you're driving off Thunder Bay, and about 5 hours east of Winnipeg. So we're kind of in the middle. Okay, but then again, that's not really Pacific. It's not a particular location on Earth, but so we want to know the exact location. Okay, so by looking at latitude and longitude, it will help us to locate a particular and specific, the exact location on Earth. Okay, that is our goal. That is our learning expectation and goals for today. Okay, by using latitude and longitude to locate a specific location, the exact location on a place on Earth. Okay, so how do we do it? So how do we do that? Okay, yes, you want to locate a specific location like Sioux Lookout or Toronto or a community up north. What does that mean? Okay, so how do we do it? How do we do it? So we need a system. We need a system. Okay, we need a system. The system is related to math. So for all my students who are taking PLARHG math or like math, we're using a particular skill in math. Okay, so we're using math. We're gonna integrate our math skills. Okay, so we're integrating other subjects. Okay, so yes, even though this is PLARHG history and geography, we're using our math skills. Okay, we're integrating other academic disciplines, other subjects by looking at latitude and longitude. Okay, so think back to math for a moment. Okay, so think to math for a moment. So how we locate a specific and exact location on Earth is that we need a system. And this system is related and is similar to math as we're integrating other subjects. The system is known as the grid system with coordinates. Okay, we're using a grid with coordinates. Okay, a grid, a grid. So what is a grid? If you may not know, or some of you may know, I have a little picture on my smartboard screen right now. It's pretty much a chart. Okay, there's lines up and down, there's columns. Okay, this is a grid. Okay, similar to chart paper or line with lines. Okay, so chart paper or graph paper, sorry, chart paper or graph paper, sorry. If you're graphing something. Okay, this is a grid. We use the grid to graph something. Okay, so think of like a line graph or a bar graph. Okay, so this is a grid. So I'm going to use a grid with coordinates. So what a grid with coordinates look like is this. Okay, so we have a grid. Okay, again, there's lines up and down, there's columns across. Okay, but coordinates is that it's similar to math as we have the y-axis and the x-axis. Okay, so this line right here is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. Does this sound familiar in terms of our math skills and our graphing skills? Okay. And when looking at latitude and longitude, yes, we're using the same skills. Same skills. Okay. So it's a picture of graph paper or graph chart. Okay, there's the y-axis, which goes vertically up and down the page. Then we have the x-axis, which goes across the page. Okay, this is very, very important to remember and to note. So again, we'll get to some more definitions right now. Okay, is everyone with me so far? Does everyone follow along? Okay, so we're going to use a grid system with coordinates to locate latitude and longitude. Okay, so yes, I have been saying those words a lot, latitude and longitude, but what do they mean? What do they mean? All right, let's get into some definitions, some illustrations. Okay. Okay, so picture a globe or planet Earth, and the line that goes across the Earth, the globe, is known as the equator. It goes from east to west. So on my screen right now, this line right here that goes across our planet is known as the equator. Okay, the equator. Capital EQUATOR. The equator. Again, you'll need to know this term. You'll see it again. Just recognize what and where the equator is located. Okay, the equator. Okay, it's located across the globe. It goes east to west. Okay, right in the middle at 0 degrees. This is the equator. The equator. Okay. Now the line that goes up and down, for instance, uh, right down the middle again, north and south of our globe or our planet. So again, this line right here. As you can see in my screen, this line right here, it's highlighted in green. It's known as the prime meridian. Prime meridian. Okay, again, you need to know this term, prime meridian. Capital P-R-I-M-E, capital M-E-R-I-D-I-A-N, prime meridian. Okay, this is the other middle line that goes north and south of the globe. Okay? So yes, the equator, right across the globe, east and west, is located at 0 degrees. Okay, note the 0 degrees. That's how we measure it. I'll talk about that more specifically in a moment. Okay, and the other line that goes north and south down the middle is known as the prime meridian. Okay, these two fancy terms, the equator and the prime meridian, are very, very critical when looking at latitude and longitude. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down to my another image. So again, I got another picture, another illustration of the globe as a planet right here. So again, you'll see this middle line right here. That's already labeled. This is the equator. Okay, it goes across the globe. And this line right here, supposed to be this line right here, is the prime meridian. Okay, prime meridian. Okay. Any questions so far about the equator and the prime meridian? Okay. So pretty much, if you think about it, going back to our grid system with coordinates, the equator is technically our x-axis. Okay, if you think about math. Okay, don't get too confused, but this is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. Okay, they're straight down the middle. Okay, equator and the prime meridian. Okay. All right, so now let's actually look at latitude. Latitude. So what does latitude mean, and how does it relate to our grid system? Okay, so again, our textbook pretty clearly states the definition of what a latitude is. Again, I'm not going to read through all that definition. I'm just going to break it down, just cover the key points. Okay, just the key points. That really simplifies and makes it super clear when looking at latitude. Okay, I'm going to use my illustration to help point it out. So yes, we just talked about the equator. Yes, we know the equator is a line that goes across the globe, that goes in the east to west, or west to east direction. Okay, right in the middle. Okay, so latitude. Okay, so latitude. Okay, say it with me. Latitude. Latitude are lines that goes east to west on the globe. Okay, let's try to make it super clear, make it super simple. Okay, so I have again a globe right here. We know that this right here is the equator, very middle. Okay, latitude are lines that goes east to west on the globe. Okay, so for example, there are so latitude and longitude are imaginary lines that runs up and down across the globe. Okay, up and down, northeast, north and south, east to west. Okay, they're imaginary lines. These are not actual lines that we have in our globe. They're just imaginary lines that we have to help us to identify and locate a specific location on Earth. Okay, so latitude are imaginary lines that goes east to west. So note our directions. Okay, so we got east and west. Okay, so left and right. Okay, so for example, this line right here is a latitude line. Okay, all these lines are latitude. Again, they are lines that goes east and west. They are parallel. Okay, they are parallel, which means that they are equal distance of the equator. Okay, of the equator. This is latitude lines. Okay, again, see here how it's indicated in red. This line right here, I'll put it in green. Latitude line, a latitude line. Okay, so again, I got another image right here. Think of an orange, and you cut it in half, east to west. Okay, so okay, if I had a physical orange, I would demonstrate it, but I don't. But again, a latitude line. Okay, so what you need to remember, and don't get confused right now, are lines that goes across the page. Okay, they go left and right, east to west on the globe. Okay. Okay. Is everyone with me so far? Go to my next slide. Okay, so I want to point out is that again, as you see from my illustration of the map in the globe, we have the equator, very middle, across the globe. Okay, that's the equator. We all know that. Again, we also know that this line right here, I'm gonna put it in green, is the prime meridian. Okay, it goes up and down, very middle of the globe. Okay, so we got the equator, we got the prime meridian. Okay, again, so latitude lines are lines that goes across. Okay, so I want to point out that there are specific and special lines of latitude on the globe. So for example, this line right here, that is located at 23.5 degrees north of the equator. It's a line of known as the Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Cancer. Okay, and this line right here, located beneath and south of the equator, is known as 23.5 south. Okay, so right north and south. It's known as the Tropic of Cancer line. Okay, Tropic of Cancer. Sorry, Tropic of Capricorn. Tropic of Capricorn. So what's very, very unique, and what I want to point out, is that cities, countries, areas between these two lines, okay? So the area between these two lines right here, in the middle. So if you live in the middle of the globe or near the equator, this area is known as the tropics. Known as the tropics. So what that means is that the closer you go towards the equator, or if you're living near the equator, or between the Tropic of Cancer or the Tropic of Capricorn, you have warm tropical climate. It's always warm. Okay, it doesn't snow. Okay, so if you're living between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn line, so near the equator, between 23.5 north and 23 degrees half south of the equator, known as the tropics. They're known as the tropics. It's really warm. Okay, warm all year round. Okay, as you live closer to the equator or near the equator, always warm. However, if you're living above either the Tropic of Cancer or the Tropic or below the Tropic of Capricorn. So again, I'm going to use my, if you live in these areas up here, okay, um, or below here, often known or categorized as they have 4 seasons. 4 seasons. So if you see my little illustration, my little scribble in blue, where it was in blue, if you're living above or below, usually have 4 seasons. So it's hot and it's cold. Okay. So I also have here on my smaller screen um, a trapezoid. Okay, again, more math or integrating our math skills and math knowledge. Um, a trapezoid. Okay, so as you notice, when looking at latitude and longitude, we measure each line by degrees. Okay, hence why there's little like that in direction. Okay, if you're above the equator, you're north. If you're below the equator, you're south. Okay, if you're on the right side of the prime meridian, that's west. And if you're on the left side of the prime meridian, you're east. Okay, that's why we need to know our directions. So our trapezoid here helps illustrate the degrees. So for example, this line across right here, you go across, it's the equator. Okay, if you go up and down, it's 90 degrees. So we have example here, like 90 degrees. Oh, I can't draw on that. That's okay. So again, it's a trapezoid. It goes from 0 to 180. If I double my trapezoid, we have 2 trapezoid, which means that we have 360 degrees. Okay, 360 degrees. So 180 plus 180 was 360. That's how we measure our in terms of degrees. Okay. I'm hearing some funny noises in the background, so that's okay. Okay, let's continue. So again, I got a map of the world, of the globe. Again, they're divided. Okay, so again, I just want to note the equator across the middle. Okay, the prime meridian down the middle. Okay, so these are divided into hemispheres. Okay, so anything above the equator is known as northern hemisphere. So whatever's in red is known as the northern hemisphere. Whatever's below the equator is known as the southern hemisphere. So whatever's in blue. Okay. So above the equator, northern hemisphere. Below the equator, the southern hemisphere. Okay. However, if you're living on the left side of the prime meridian, this is known as the western hemisphere. So western, so here in Canada and North America where it's considered northern hemisphere and western hemisphere. And then on the right side of the prime meridian is known as the eastern hemisphere. Okay, just want to point that out. Okay. Okay. Longitude. Okay, so longitude. So what is longitude? Okay, so again, we need to look at our prime meridian. Okay, so longitude are lines that goes north and south. Okay, north and south. Imaginary lines that runs up and down our planet, the globe. They are not parallel. Okay, note that. That's different from latitude. So longitude are not parallel. Okay, how? Because they converge at the poles. So, for example, right here, that's the North Pole. This is where their lines begin. And down here, we got the South Pole. Okay, so longitude lines are these lines right here. Okay, they go up and down, north and south. They measure the distance from the prime meridian. Okay, so I do have a little slide. And note the oranges that are cut vertically into slices in a way. Okay, so I do have a slide that summarizes latitude and longitude. Okay, so latitude, okay, measures how far you are north or south of the equator. Okay, latitude measures how far you are north or south from the equator. These lines are parallel, which means that they're the same distance. They go from east to west. Okay, they go across the page, or left and right. So how I remember latitude is that I use lats for flats. You can't remember the difference. Okay, lat for flats. Okay, so flat lines across, parallel lines. Okay. Or on the other side, we got longitude. Longitude measures how far you are east or west of the prime meridian. Okay, they meet at the poles and they run north to south. Okay, so longitude lines are lines. So I'll write this down. Okay, scan prime meridian down the middle, the equator across. Okay, so again, don't get too confused. If you are, please let me know. Okay, and I will further explain it. Okay, so again, just a reminder, latitude, lat for flat, measures how far you are north or south of the equator. These lines are parallel. Okay, they're the same distance, and they run east to west. Whereas longitude measures how far you are east or west of the prime meridian. They meet at the poles, and they run north to south. Okay? Okay. And now, another important thing that I want to point out about latitude and longitude, again, is that we measure it in degrees. So again, think about your protractor, think about math skills. So again, this is in your textbook, and points and notes right here. Okay, so now we know what they mean in terminology. So latitude is always written first. Okay, in terms of north or south, in terms of its location, followed by longitude, which is indicated by east or west. Okay? So for example, okay, you see, I got a little illustration of a map of the globe. Okay, right here we got a little X. Okay, and we want to locate that specific location of this point right here. Of this point. Of this little X. So, as for what we need to do is that we need to write the latitude first, followed by the longitude. So, looking at a map, so I'm going to give you an example right now. So, latitude, we know that latitudes are lines that goes east to west. So, latitudes are these lines right here in red. That's the equator. Okay? And our longitude lines, I'm going to put it in green. These are longitude lines. So we need to write the latitude first, which is the line in red. So looking at our degree symbol, we know that our little X right here is located at 30 degrees north. Why? Because it is above the equator, which means it has to be north. So to write this location, we will write 30 degrees north, comma, then we look at the longitude, which is the green line. Okay, look at the green line. Again, we notice that it is at 30 degrees east, because it is east of the prime meridian, and it's 30 degrees. So the location of X right here will be 30 degrees north, 30 degrees east. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. So again, we're looking at the latitude first, which is the line in red. It is above the equator. So you need to look at above or below. It's above, so it's 30 degrees north. And then we look at the latitude. Again, it is east of the prime meridian, and it's this line right here, and it's already labeled. Okay, so again, these are imaginary lines that go up and down, left and right of the globe. They go north, east, south, west. So we need to know our location and then measure in degrees. Usually it's already located on a map. We just gotta find that degrees. Okay. I know we're almost running out of time, so I'm just gonna get to our last assignment. Go through those questions and my expectation. And then we'll finish it up for today. So assignment 16. This is your last and final assignment for PLARHG History and Geography. We're almost done. This is it. This is it. Okay, last assignment. Okay, the 16th assignment all together. So pretty simple, straight assignment. There are 5 multiple choice questions. 5 multiple choice questions. Again, you're going to read each statement, and you're going to pick the correct statement that best fits or fits the answer. Okay? So you're going to put either A, B, or C. Okay? A, B, or C. Multiple choice. Okay? So those are the 5 marks right there. Okay? So make sure you read each question carefully. Okay? And then you pick the correct answer. Okay, again, using the process of elimination. Okay, if it doesn't make sense, then it shouldn't be it. If it's it should be it. Okay? Multiple choice. 5 multiple choice. Okay, and then on next page, fill in a blank. But you're looking at a map or illustration of the globe to find the answer. Okay, so for example, the line of latitude that runs through the Australia is labeled. So you need to look at the map, which is this map right here. Okay, and then you need to look at what line that goes across Australia. So this is Australia. What is this line right here that goes across Australia? Again, there's a better picture in your textbook. Okay. So you're gonna give me what degrees is it located in. Okay? Again, this is all fill in the blank. Okay? Again, the expression 90 degrees north is location of what? Again, look at the map, look at illustration. Take the location. Okay, so this is what degree it's in. I'm looking for the name of a location, so location of a name of a place. Okay. Again, what degree is this in? Look at the number again. And the rest is all in degrees. Okay? So that is assignment 16. Again, pretty straightforward. 5 multiple choice. And a few fill in the blanks. Again, you're looking at the map. Make sure you look at the map. and using our latitude and longitude skills that we have just learned, fill in the blank. Okay? Yes, I know that's lots of information. Again, I'll take some time to go over some key details on Thursday about latitude and longitude, just to refresh our memory. Okay? But that is it for today. Okay? So, are there any questions about today's lesson on latitude and longitude? Okay? So on Thursday is our last class. Again, I will briefly do a little summary of the key points of today's lesson. I will talk quickly about expectation and what to expect for tests if you haven't already wrote one yet. Again, please work on those assignments. Okay, this is it. Assignment 16. There's 16 assignments in all together for PLARHG History and Geography. Please continue to work on them. Again, the goal is that all assignments for this course will be completed by the end of this week. Okay, but again, it should be completed, but again, if you're not, please continue to take some time to work on it. But again, please continue to work on those assignments. Okay. Ruth over in Big Trout. How's it going over there? Not sure if you can hear me or not. I believe, Ruth, you're working on your geography assignments. Okay. So again, please get a hold of me if you have any difficulties, have any trouble. Again, just a reminder, on Thursday is our last class. Okay, so this is full and extended times. Again, please continue to work on those assignments. Please get them to me as soon as you can. Don't wait. Remember, our goal is to get them done by end of this term, which is end of this week. Okay, again, I'll talk more about it next class. Again, I will do a quick review of longitude and latitude. There's lots of information next class. Again, I'm going to talk about the tests and some practice questions on Thursday. Okay, but yes, we're almost done our first term. Okay. Any last questions? Any comments, concerns before we go? Before I let you go, before I take off? Again, I'll be in my office all day today. You need to get a hold of me. Okay. So again, I want to thank everyone for listening to my lesson today on longitude and latitude. Thank you, Ruth, for bringing on Bridget software and watching and listening. Again, thank you to everyone else listening in your community or wherever you may be. Again, this is SWASA, PLARHG History and Geography. Again, my name is Jonathan. Thank you so much. I'll see everyone again on Thursday at our same time slot, and we'll wrap things up on